Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George, or all George. So, end of June, and we suddenly get a nice Bitcoin pump above 20,000. Just when the naysayers and critics called for Bitcoin to go lower and called for Bitcoin's death, we now see it come right back up. So what happened today exactly? There's so much news to cover. So let's talk about what's going on and what to look forward to come July. So smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media. Check out CryptosRUs.com and follow the brand new Clips channel. Good morning, guys. Good evening. Good afternoon, wherever you may be. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So take a look at that. That's not bad. Not bad at all. You know, this morning, this afternoon, I created another video for you guys this afternoon, and things were just looking bad. Really, really, really bad. And the bad news just kept compounding, combining, and compounding. Actually, I have some more bad news. But regardless, Bitcoin found its bottom, and intraday bottom, I should say. And now we're right back above 20,000. So definitely very positive. This shows you that Bitcoin is not dead, nowhere near dead, and we will get through this. There are just way too many holders, way too much strength behind Bitcoin to kill it. Despite everything that's going on, today's made it official. The S&P posts the worst first half of the year since 1970. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's brutal out there. So you can't just say, well, it's just crypto and Bitcoin's doing that. No. The S&P worst first half since 1970. So think about that. How many years is that? 52 years? And let's forget about NASDAQ. I don't even know. Maybe it's probably much worse, right? It is definitely brutal. Very, very brutal out there. And we're not getting any help at all from Fed Chair Powell or Gary Gensler at SEC. No, zero help from them at this point. If you look at, what the Fed Chair Powell is doing besides rate hikes, another thing that he's doing is trying to eliminate a balance sheet. And congratulations, he was able to get $1.5 billion off the balance sheet during the month of June. But here's the thing, $1.5 billion out of $9 trillion is a drop in the bucket. How is he going to unload $9 trillion worth of assets? It's funny how billion means nothing compared to trillion. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to shut off the balance sheet. Will it ever happen? Will it ever go back to even, say, pre-COVID level around $4 trillion in 2020? Unknown if that's even possible, right? So, yeah. Not working out right now. And then there's other metrics that's not looking pretty good either. Even though inflation is sky high, you know what else is sky high? Monthly rent for people that are renters. Average price has kept going up and up and up and up, and it's still on its way up. So people are able to afford less because of high prices, high gas prices, high food prices, but they're also still paying higher rent. So that's not good overall. 6-month change in a 30-year mortgage, pretty much the highest we've seen in the last decade, 2 decades, right? So non-renters, owners are also going to struggle, especially if they're on a 10-year ARM or something that's adjustable rate, or people that are selling and trying to buy. Absolutely worst time, right? But if you are big oil, big gas, big energy, you're doing just fine this year. But for everyone else, no. It's been absolutely horrible, right? So what is my point to this? My point is, it's been brutal. It's been absolutely brutal. And at times it just seems like, it's got to call it quits and just throw the white flag up and just say, we just gotta admit defeat, right? No. You don't do that with Bitcoin. Even though June turned out to be the worst month ever in Bitcoin's history, right? Pat yourself on the back. You survived it. If you're watching this, most likely you have survived it. 40% loss in a single month. Biggest loss in a single month since the beginning. We had many bad months. You know, some 37%, 38%, 35%, but never a negative 40%. And we have survived it. And here's the thing. Now that we have seen a 40% loss, guess where Bitcoin is? Still above 20,000, right? It's not going away. We have horrible macro situation right now. Absolutely horrible. But Bitcoin is not going away. It's not. In fact, look at the short sellers within the last few hours. Yeah, they thought they would make easy money shorting Bitcoin. That's about 100 million right there lost betting against Bitcoin. You never want to bet against Bitcoin. No, you just don't want to do that, right? So 100 million worth of shorts gone. And you know who else is shorting Bitcoin? Maybe this is the guy that kind of caused a short squeeze. Is none other than Brian Kelly. A lot of you guys have, those of you guys have followed me over the years, you know that I would talk about Brian Kelly a lot because he used to be the biggest Bitcoin bull on CNBC. Unfortunately, he got ridiculed after Bitcoin formed the top in 2017, came down. Then he started talking about playing both sides. Rather than just be a Bitcoin bull, he wants to be a trader. And he wants to, outsmart the market, right? He's no longer really a bull. He's just a trader. But listen to this real quick, okay? Listen to this real quick.
It is a great financial crisis for the crypto world. We built the Wall Street 2.0, and it didn't work again, shocker. And so we got to flush that out.
Real quick, we're out of time. You're still short.
I am still short. It is
maybe after he admitted that his Brian Kelly fund or whatever his fund company is short on Bitcoin. That's the reason why Bitcoin pumped. So he's probably not liking that. So you just don't want to outsmart the market no matter who you are, right? So maybe it's that. I used to think that Brian Kelly knew what he was doing, but my mind has changed. All right, so obviously right now Bitcoin looking better, pumped above, and we just went through the worst month ever. And despite all the things that's going on, right, Bitcoin continue to grow, continues to achieve new highs. Case in point, look at the security. Look at the hash rate of Bitcoin. Last time it was 20,000 back wherever, back in 2017 versus now, right? The increase of security went up 1,000-fold. Think about that. In just 5 years, less than 5 years, the hash rate has gone up 1,000x. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing that the number of miners out there that are trying to compete in this game of mining, trying to secure as many Bitcoins as they can. Think about that. The hash rate has gone up 1,000x. Think about the infrastructure that went up probably 1,000x, if not more, right? Does this look like you should be giving up on Bitcoin? No. And then, of course, there's other interesting models. For example, if you look at a total stable coins out there, USDT, USDC, you put it together, right? usually, generally speaking, compared to Bitcoin, you have an opposite correlation. When Bitcoin is pumping and it's really high, well, stablecoins are low. That makes sense. But when stablecoins are high, that usually means that Bitcoin is low, right? But if you're looking at this channel, well, you see, you can make the correlation that, yeah, every time it peaks at this, within this channel, well, that's when things come around, and vice versa, right? So there's still a lot of models that's showing this is a great time to be stacking sats. This morning, it was at 18,000, 18,800, 19,000. You know, right now, 20,000. We were at 17,000. These are terrific times to be buying. No one knows exactly where bottom is, but there are definitely a lot of metrics that's showing that this is, regardless, a great time to be stacking. Great time to be in Bitcoin and definitely holding, right? And there's just so many out there. Even Wilcombe posted this. As for capitulation, we're at a lower level than even the COVID crash of 2020. And that was when Bitcoin was below 4,000. So, relatively speaking, at 20,000, we're still 5 times higher, right, than that point back in 2020. Digest that for a second, okay? So, that's all the good stuff. Right? Just when everyone's thinking that, yeah, we're going to go lower, we're going to go to 15, we're going to go to 10, we're going to go to 0. Well, we get a nice spike back above 20,000, and we're about to start the new month right. All right. So that's positive. Now, as for some of the negatives out there, there are more negatives. And, you know, hopefully some of these people, some of these bad actors, don't get away with what's going on. So it's been reported, okay, that this gigantic house in Singapore is being sold. A purchase last year that was transacted at $48.8 million. This is a very, very, very urgent sale, right? Owner wants to sell fast. Really, really, really fast. Can you guess who this belongs to? No, not Alex Mashinsky, but Zhu Su. It turns out last year, he decided to splurge, and he bought this property for $48.8 million. And now, it seems like someone is about to run. Someone is trying to sell this property very quickly and run away. Right? Pretty much CryptosRUs is done. The damage is done. They're not going to recover, and every lending company is paying for the irresponsibility of Zhu Su and CryptosRUs, who once upon a time was one of the pinnacle VCs of crypto. Now they are no more, and ex-crypto billionaire is looking like he wants to flee. Hopefully justice finds its way to him, because that would be, you know, maybe we get some justice. Maybe the 49 million or whatever he's going to get goes back to some of the companies he took the money from, right? Yeah, so it's not a good look. Not a good look at all. All right, and then also I covered some of these things. I'm just going to repeat it, but there's been development updates. It turns out that FTX did talk to Celsius, and it looks like, according to sources, that they didn't like what they saw, which was a $2 billion hole in the balance sheet. A gigantic $2 billion hole in the balance sheet, and that is why FTX is walking away. And according to sources, FTX didn't like their attitude. Celsius was not friendly about it, right? I don't know why. Maybe Sam Bankman-Fried is being cocky and a dick because he can be at this point. I don't know, but turns out they're not going to buy Celsius, so they're walking away. So who's going to plug that $2 billion hole in Celsius? Unknown at this time. I don't know. Maybe CZ comes in and comes to rescue, but right now, seems like nobody. Celsius did release this blog post, another updated one. It doesn't really say a whole lot other than that they are pursuing strategic transactions as well as a restructuring of our liabilities, among other avenues. So it's been reported that Celsius has hired Citigroup to look at, explore bankruptcy options. So that is one of the things they're looking at, and they're looking at other avenue. I don't know. But I will give them credit. There's one thing that I want to give them credit for, because I always kind of poke fun of the fact that they still post their number. Hey, I called this number, and actually someone picked up. So they do actually have people that at will pick up. But if you ask them what's going on, they can't tell you. They don't know. And it's funny because their automated line says, press 1 if you want to open an account. So I pressed 1, and the lady picked up, and I'm like, can I still open an account? She's like, no. I was expecting her to say, yeah, you can open an account. That would be really bad. But no, she said no. So that thankfully they're not taking new accounts and new crypto at this time. But you got to give them credit. They still have their phones open. Not that it's doing anything, but they didn't like just shut down their phone line or anything like that. So that's pretty good. But, going back to FTX, this is still being swirled around that FTX is going to buy BlockFi for pennies on the dollar for $25 million. Now, I already talked about this in my earlier video. I think they mean $250 million plus 25, so 275. But Zach Prince of BlockFi is like, no. Don't trust any of the rumors. Don't trust CNBC. We're not selling for $25 million, right? And they will share more information as soon as they can. So right now, I do think that some things being worked on, right? But it's not $25 million. But whether or not BlockFi sells to FTX could be a real possibility. Anyone that took a line of credit from FTX is probably an acquisition target, including Voyager. And I'll bet you anything, we're going to hear something soon from Voyager, and it's probably going to be related to a merger or a buyout from FTX, right? So that is still happening. So I declare CeFi dead. Basically, centralized finance is pretty much dead. Lending companies is dead. Going forward, really what we can rely on, or the only ways we could rely on in terms of making staking rewards or passive income is really through native staking and DeFi. But even with DeFi, there are worries. But I think traditional CeFi, especially lending projects, pretty much won't survive after this. I just don't see how they can. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe FTX could do something, or maybe BlockFi pulls through this and does something, right? We will see. Now, as for Coinbase, they're not a lending company, but some good news and bad news. First of all, Coinbase reveals that they want to expand broadly into Europe. They're going to try to get licenses in Spain, Italy, France, and Netherlands. So that's good for Coinbase. But we know recently Coinbase is struggling a little bit, laid off like 18% of their workforce. And what has people troubled is this. Reportedly, Coinbase will be reporting crypto user data to the U.S. government, specifically the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. Right? Now, according to this article, it's part of a deal that Coinbase made before with ICE back in August of 2021 to supply the organization with licenses for its analytics software. It sold licenses to the U.S. Secret Service for proprietary software, Coinbase Tracer. The deal with the Secret Service took place April 21st and May 2020. Both of these deals were less than $50,000 each. So I don't know the specific details, but somehow Coinbase made a deal with ICE and the Secret Service and their software, and now reportedly they are selling user data, or they have to they're compelled to give data. Regardless, right? I don't think this is really a big surprise. I mean, I'm pretty sure any U.S. based company can be compelled to do this. right? But it seems like Coinbase voluntarily did this, that they sold them license to do this in 2021. Maybe it's part of some under the table, handshake so that, they leave Coinbase alone. I don't know, but this not a good look right now, right? Despite everything else that's going on. So yeah, so be careful. Be careful. What else is there? I guess Binance. Binance is launching their NFT collection. If you are on Binance.us, doesn't work. This is for Binance.com. You could mint your own NFT collections on BNB chain or Ethereum. Also, Facebook is testing NFTs on their profile. I guess copying Twitter. Ethereum and Polygon NFTs on user profiles. Okay, so I don't. Is it Facebook or Meta? Because there's still articles that relate to talks about Facebook, but they're really Meta, right? But yeah, so there's that. I don't know if anyone trusts Facebook either. And then lastly, the Glacier upgrade for Ethereum goes live. And the only thing this really brings is it kicks back the difficulty bomb another 100 days in anticipation of the beacon chain and the merge and Ethereum 2.0, right? Basically, they've been pushing this back forever, waiting for the merge to come, and it will finally come sometime in August. Hopefully, this is the last pushback they will ever do. Yeah, that's it. That's it. LA, big super chat. Okay, thank you, but don't try to show your own project. Levante before, and yeah, 2 of them. Thank you for those. All right, so that's pretty much it. And, overall, this is very positive, right? Despite all the negative stuff, like I said, we are now hovering above 20,000 once again, right? We're about to head into a new month. For those of us in the U.S., we are moving into July 4th weekend, right? Obviously, we still have Friday tomorrow, but this weekend will definitely be interesting going into Monday, which is a holiday. So we will have a long holiday, but you know what? We're off to a pretty good start. And it's always good to see those short leverage traders get wrecked, right? It's about time. All right, let's do some Q&A. Inflation is just transitory. I did panic and bought Patcoin. Man, Patcoin. Only people from 2017 know of that story. I'm not going to share it again, but let's just consider it the past and a dead project. Plan for the 4th. I don't really have plans. I usually have, 4th of July party, but not this year. Usually I rent one of those, those inflatable water slides, the huge ones for the kids and for people, but not this year. Maybe next year. Maybe next year, not this year. KD and Kyrie to Lakers, that's not going to happen, man. There's a lot of rumors about maybe KD going to the Bulls, and I think his preferred destination is the Suns or something like that. I don't know why he wants to go to the Suns, but KD's legacy is over. Julian, if CeFi is dead and DeFi is risky, what about other major exchanges whose offer is staking, right? Yeah, no. Basically, the ones that are left, they're basically staking for you, and they're passing on the interest. But the thing is, they're giving you less interest, and you still have to worry about whether or not they're going to stop withdrawals. So why not do it yourself, Julian? KD to the Celtics. If KD goes to the Celtics, that would be hilarious. KD, unfortunately, is his legacy will be tarnished forever. Now that Golden State won without him, proves that they didn't need him And his 2 rings and his 2 finals MVP means nothing. Unfortunately, yeah, that's his legacy now. Someone asked me about Dome. I don't know what Dome is, so I can't really talk about it. Are Binance and FTX too big to fail? At this point, yes. I still question how FTX got so much money. Binance has been around from 2017, and CZ has been in a long time. Now, if you look at Sam Bankman-Fried, he brought up FTX, Alameda Research, way afterwards. He made a ton of money doing a lot of, trades, bot trades with arbitrage between different currencies and stuff like that. So he made a lot of money with that. But, right now, everyone is struggling. But somehow they have so much money. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about it that doesn't sit exactly right. So I'm just going to leave it at that. George, at what point do you think the Bears will get wrecked as bad as we have gotten? Well, we gotta go up a lot more. We gotta go a lot more. Eventually, it'll happen. They will get wrecked as much as the Bulls have. You just got to be patient about it. FTX got the money from selling the top of Solana. Maybe, but still. They're throwing like $1 billion here or there around like it's nothing, right? Not even Binance is doing that right now. Binance is still growing. They're not laying anyone off. They're still growing, but you don't even see Binance doing that. So I don't know. George, I got my crypto on Voyager. Can I open an FTX account and transfer my crypto into it? Some, yes. Voyager allows withdrawals, but not for every coin out there. So some you cannot, and you have to, unfortunately trade for like Bitcoin or some kind of other crypto that you can transfer off. But right now I hear there's major delays on withdrawals or Voyager, so you probably have to wait a while. Hello from South Korea. I'm a crypto researcher. I think now it's a good time to be buying crypto. I mean, right now is definitely a good time. We don't know where bottom is. It could go back down. It could go back to 18. It could be 17. But no one knows. But what we do know is there's a lot of metrics and model that show that this is bottom, near bottom. Some of the metrics show we are at all-time oversold levels, right? And Bitcoin community is strong. It's definitely much stronger now than before. I still remember during the COVID crash, during 2018 bottom, right? There's no one really was, even like the people that's tuning in right now. The number of people watching crypto live stream like right now, right? Nowhere close to this. Right? So the number of holders, the community is much, much greater. And there's so many people that recognize that this is the way. And I think what's, one of the big questions from before was, can Bitcoin survive a recession? And I think right now this has proven that yes, Bitcoin can, right? We have just witnessed the worst 6 months, okay, for S&P 500 since 1970. The worst 6 months since 1970, okay? And it took this to bring Bitcoin back to 20,000. So can Bitcoin survive a recession? Yes. I think this proves once and for all it can. Now, if this recession gets much, much worse, the U.S. economy gets much, much worse, and we enter a depression, sure, Bitcoin could go down more. But it definitely shows that Bitcoin is not going away. The number of holders is still strong. Very, very strong. So the Coinbase news is fake. Check their Twitter. I don't know. Just because they deny it doesn't really mean that it's fake. Maybe there are certain things that they can report, certain things they can't. Let's see. We want to make this incredibly clear. Coinbase does not sell proprietary customer data. Our first concern, okay. See, here's the thing. with these kind of tweets, you got to analyze every word, right? Because most likely it's written by a lawyer. Does not sell proprietary customer data. What about non-proprietary customer data, right? See, that's the difference. If you're a lawyer, these type of words make a whole lot of difference, but to the average reader, you're like, oh, okay, they're not selling. No, that doesn't mean that doesn't actually mean what that says. Proprietary data. But what about regular data? What about just KYC information? I don't know if that's considered proprietary, right? Tracer tools are designed to support compliance and help investigate financial crimes like money laundering and terrorist financing. Sources of information from public sources and does not make use of Coinbase user data ever. Makes me wonder. Anyways, it's just not a good look. I mean, again, I'm pretty sure every single US-based exchange goes through this. If the FBI or any other agency, the Secret Service, they go to Coinbase, they go to Gemini, they go to Kraken, and they're knocking on a door asking for information, most likely they go get it. Like it's not unexpected, right? If you're a US-based company, FBI comes knocking on your door with a warrant, they're going to comply. I don't doubt it, but anyways, it's just not a good look. Do I use Trust Wallet? I do. I think it's a great mobile wallet so far. Anonymous bot, 2 questions. Thoughts on our Harmony bridge hack? What will happen if Blockfi interest accounts and regular accounts after FTX announcement? Who knows? Who knows what happens to the interest rate accounts on Blockfi? If FTX go take them over and then gets renamed to FTX lending or FTX Blockfi, I don't know. I'm assuming that they want to buy them still because of their interest-bearing account, so they don't want to give up on that. As for the Harmony bridge hack, I've been speculating. The hackers are North Korean and they don't want to give that money back, so it's pretty devastating for Harmony. The Dro, welcome. Welcome. Patience is key. Be a 2017, George. That is correct. Zhang, welcome. Chris Maddox, I missed a live stream today. I'm crushing the overtime at the brewery, Budweiser. Thanks for all your hard work. Thank you. What do you do at Budweiser? You just sampling the goods? Is that what you mean? That's interesting. It's always interesting to hear what people do. I meet a lot of people, ask them what they do, and always amazed. Always amazed. In my neck of the woods has always been IT. I was in IT before I started my channels and so forth. So normally I talk to IT people, but when I'm meeting people, there's so many business owners, lawyers, doctors, people that travel the world, people that work at Budweiser. It's nice. It's cool. I work in esports. Ever heard of esports ever? Is esports ever the name, or just you're saying in general esports? Yeah, I've heard of esports, like gaming and stuff. Johnny 5, with such a terrible situation with the global markets, do you think it'll take a while to bounce back from? Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, the markets will bounce really hard. Right now what's happening is, even though, there's major panic, major sell-off, there's a ton of cash. There's a ton of cash sitting on the sidelines. There's a ton of cash waiting to come back, especially in crypto. That is why USDC, USDT, and BUSD, you look at the billions, right, sitting in stable coins. I mean, just imagine all that pouring back into the market. So I think we just need some catalyst, right? Some kind of catalyst to kind of jumpstart things. And when it does, it could come back really, really, really fast. So even though many are predicting that this could be a prolonged recession that could take years before we recover, it might not be the case because there's so much money sitting on the sidelines waiting to enter, not just with crypto, but with stocks as well. And there are still many that are well above their 2020 lows, right? So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Noah, hey, appreciate your support, man. Appreciate the super chat. What price were you worried for BTC? I mean, I was just speculating the other day. Worst case scenario for BTC. I don't even know if there's a worst case scenario. But at what point would I worry? If we went below 10,000, you know, it wouldn't be a worry point as like, okay, this time surely it's done. No. But if we do go below 10,000, I think the recovery time is going to take a lot longer. But I'll be still stacking. I'll be stacking twice as much as now because you basically buy twice as much for the same price, right? I don't anticipate we'll ever see that. But, you know, who knows? Maybe we get some kind of doomsday flash crash once again. Maybe Russia throws a nuke out there, okay? I don't know. Like, something disastrous happens, right? And we see a sudden crash. It wouldn't be good, but I would continue to stack. I wouldn't get to a point where, at this point in time, I would never get so worried, let's just put it this way, that I would just dump it all, sell it all, and then say, okay, it's done. Unless aliens invaded the Earth or something, or we go into nuclear war. You know, if it was like the end of the world, maybe, but outside of those things, no. No, I still haven't used my Arculus wallet yet. I've been kind of dragging my feet on trying to learn a new wallet, but I do really want to get going on it. DCAing is the opposite going all in. That is correct. That is correct. Or Gary Gensler confessing it's Satoshi. No, that wouldn't be that bad. If Gary Gensler confessed that he's Satoshi, I don't know if that would crash the market. I don't think so. I mean, Craig Wright already confessed and no one cares. You know, at this point, I don't think really anyone cares. Whoever confesses doesn't really care. Now, what would cause people to care is if all of a sudden you start seeing Satoshi's wallet being accessed and being drained. That would be concerning, right? Like that event would be a disastrous event. But I don't anticipate we'll ever see that in our lifetime, ever. Mountain Time says a few EMPs over the U.S. and no one be buying BTC. Okay, well, let's take a step back. First of all, if a few EMPs went over to the U.S., the entire U.S. infrastructure grid would go down. You get mass panic. People will not be able to get electricity, food, water, transportation. Everything will be halted. Do you think at that point people will still care about BTC? I think at that point you have bigger worries to worry about. So I don't know if you were just trolling or not, but I mean, whenever people bring like scenarios like that, well, what if, there's, the global electrical grid goes down around the world? Then what is BTC go do for you? What is gold go do for you at that point? What is USDs go do for you at that point? Nothing. What is money go do for you at that point? Nothing. At that point, it's survival of the fittest, and everyone is going to be trying to get food, water, the essentials, guns, bullets, right? So, those kind of scenarios are just absolutely stupid to me because if it happened, there's much worse things to worry about. Jamal, the Unstoppable Domains contest being halted a little bit. They're trying to get themselves situated because Unstoppable Domains, unfortunately, just like laid off a ton of people. So the new people are starting to get situated. According to them, it's still ongoing. The winners will still be revealed, but just give it a little time. So hopefully by tomorrow, if not tomorrow, early next week. Johnny, I'm active Air Force. Oh, congratulations. Not congratulations. Well, I mean, it's pretty cool. Very cool. I fly missions and travel the world for the military, but I haven't for a while after tearing my ACL. That sucks. I have done that, and it really sucks. Flying missions is a side hustle. Wow. I didn't even think that you could do that as a side hustle. I get a bonus if we get shot at. Are you a Top Gun, Johnny? Are you in a top? Is that even a real thing? Is Top Gun like really like Academy for the best of the best? Because I'll tell you guys, those of you guys that haven't watched Top Gun Maverick, you should do so. One of the most amazing movies out there. Tiberius, yes. Oh, Top Gun is a Navy? No, I thought it was Air Force. I'm bad. I'm bad with our military divisions. I'm sorry. What's your opinion on OMI? You think they'll ever do anything? I mean, they still have all the license they used to. Nothing has changed. I mean, they're still a 400 million market cap project. That is still good. So, yeah, I think they'll come back. They'll definitely come back. The licensing is huge. Unless they lose the licensing, they got licensing for some of the biggest brands out there. So, yeah. What about Space Force? Is anyone from the Space Force? Is that still a thing? I know Trump implemented Space Force. I don't know if that's still a real division or not. The Space Force show, fortunately, it was canceled by Netflix because that was a horrible show. I don't know what they were doing with that show. That was absolutely horrible. I can't wait until the next episode of The Boys come out tomorrow. I can't wait for it. It's going to be epic. The Boys this season has been, man, one of the best seasons ever of any show. Space Force is real? Yeah, it just sounds like it's not, but it is. And what about all these UFO stuff that's being released by the Pentagon and stuff? What's going on with that? I live in Colorado Springs. The Space Force is out here. Isn't Charles in Colorado Springs too? Charles Hoskinson? He's always talking about Colorado. I don't know if it's Colorado Springs or not, but I work in IT for a school district. Yay for Chromebooks and iPads. It's boring, but praised crypto bills. Man, I don't know why so many are turning Chromebooks, for schools, young kids, and so forth. I get it. It's probably cheaper, but man, this does not work the same as just a regular, Windows laptop, which is a lot more useful. But anyways, why do you even need a Space Force when you have NASA? What shouldn't Space Force NASA just be part of Space Force? I don't even get what Space Force does. It's not like they're hanging out in space. So I don't actually quite know. I just don't know. I tried to get my mom a Chromebook. It was way worse. Yeah, I mean, I've used Chromebooks before. I used the very first one. Actually, Google, when they first came out Chromebooks, you could have applied for a beta, and they sent me one to review. And it was the worst experience ever. And over time, they started upgrading and making it look more like Windows. But it's still, you can't do much with it. It's just like a big phone, basically. You should watch Battle for Los Angeles. I did. That's a horrible movie. Horrible movie. Go to cryptocurrency topics. Well, people have to ask me. It's all about Space Force and aliens right now in the live chat. So, anyways, enough about Space Force and aliens and whatever else is going on. What is good tonight is this. Bitcoin pumps above 20,000 despite all the things that we're faced with, despite all the naysayers, again, calling for Bitcoin's demise, and all these CeFi lending projects about to go under or being acquired. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on right now. A lot of bad stuff. But Bitcoin is strong because of us holders. It is not going to go anywhere. And despite the market, the U.S. market, having the worst 6 months since 1970, Bitcoin is still here and still rocking above 20,000. So that is fantastic. So make sure you guys stay strong, stay focused, look at the future, and don't be giving up on Bitcoin just yet. All right? So smash with a like, subscribe to the channel, and we will do this again tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have you sent funds to a different country? How did you do it cheaply? Are you talking about cashing out? If you're sending it to someone, you could just get their wallet address. But for them to cash out, they have to find an exchange that will allow to do so. But you could send to pretty much anyone with the wallet address instantly. Doesn't matter where they are. All right? All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Oh, by the way, I do have something to show you guys. The reason why I've been talking about Space Force and all that is because of this video. Hold on.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.